In 2023, I believe a number of homeowners out there will be asking themselves, should I sell first or buy first? Today we're going to dive into that topic. This is Coffee with Cathy. Let's face it, over the past couple of years, a homeowner could put their home on the market and expect multiple offers. They would expect offers to be over list price and really could ask whatever they wanted from those buyers. Those days are gone, especially now that the Fed has increased interest rates to 2008 levels. Sellers now are grappling with the decision on how they're going to market their home and what's going to be best for their family when they are in a situation and they have to move. So let's take a look at that. If you're in that situation, the first thing you're going to ask, can I buy before I sell? The benefits of buying before you're selling is A, you know where you're going. B, you don't even have to be in the house when there's showings because you can pack up once, move once, unpack once, and all of that sounds like a great idea, doesn't it? Of course, you have to have the liquidity to make that happen. So you need the cash for the down payment, the escrow fees, the moving fees, and anything else associated with this transition. You may have that. And if you do, that might be the better way for you to go. Because truly, buyers like to see a house that's move-in ready and vacant. So if you can make that happen, great. And if you have the cash, awesome. But most of us who are homeowners, most of our financial wealth is tied up in our house, right? So how can you pull that money out before you sell? The number one way is a HELOC loan. So that allows you to take a loan on your house and use as much money as you need without having to use all of it if you don't need to. So for example, if you get a HELOC for $200,000, but you only need $100,000, well, then great. You haven't used the whole thing. You don't have to pay back more than what you use. You do have to remember though that this could affect how you're going to qualify for your new purchase loan. Lenders look at your debt to income ratio. So if you can, make sure you pay off as much debt as you possibly can and talk to your lender when you're pulling out the HELOC to make sure I'm buying this and I'm going to probably, your intention is to pay that off as quickly as possible. So once you procure the new home and you've moved, you put your house on the market. Once that house sells, you pay off the HELOC loan at that time. So you're going to want to talk to your lender and make sure there aren't going to be any penalties for closing that account. Sometimes if you close it too soon, they might charge you a fee for that. So buying might be an option for you. If, however, you're not comfortable with that, you're going to sell first and then buy, great. Now you have the liquidity to make that happen. You've sold your house, you've got a good chunk of change in your pocket, but you have to think, now what am I going to do? My house is sold, I don't know where I'm going. Couple options there. The first option is, maybe you pack up, put stuff in storage, live with a friend, a family member, move to whatever state or other location that you're going to be at and start looking for a home. You'll have to pay out of pocket for those expenses and the time that it takes to make that happen. Another option, especially if maybe you're staying closer or you just need a little bit more time, you can ask the buyer if you can do a rent back after the close of escrow. Now, a rent back from a buyer who's taken a loan out on the house usually is a limited amount of time. Lenders usually want to know that if that buyer bought that house with a low interest rate to move in as their primary residence, that has to happen usually within 60 days of the closing. But that's 60 days. That's almost 2 months that you might be able to stay in your home, have the liquidity out of your home because it's actually sold, and you're just renting back until you can find that new home. Of course, you are going to have to decide, but the downside with that is that you probably are going to have to pay the new buyers PITI. So that's your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And likely that's probably more than what you were paying before. It might be worth it for you because it gives you the comfort of knowing that you've got at least 60 more days to find that replacement property and move out. You can always use a contingency, which is to the sale is contingent on you finding an acceptable replacement property. Or you can write an offer on a new property saying, well, it's contingent on me selling my property first. Usually if you're going to do that, you want to sweeten the pot because most buyers and sellers out there, they're not going to be that interested. A buyer might be more interested because they're locked into an area, but a seller, they're not going to be your offer is just not going to be so attractive to them, especially if you haven't even put the house on the market or you're not already in escrow. Now, if you make the offer once you're already in escrow, and especially after the buyer has removed all their contingencies, then they can see that you've got skin in the game and they might accept your offer. Oh, we're getting into lots of technicalities, and that's where if you're in this situation and you're looking at multiple ways of how you want to maybe move, sell first, then buy first, then sell, make sure you're working with a professional realtor that can help walk you through that process. I've helped a number of homeowners and buyers, sellers alike, figure out the solution. And so I hope that helps you when you're thinking about whether you should buy or sell or buy. 2023 is going to be an exciting year, and I hope whatever changes are coming your way, they're for the better.